All right, the next product, and this is a version 2.0 product for the store. This is, I think, the very first one, other than maybe the Incredipad XL, where I've updated a product package or updated a product. There's a couple of reasons why I've done this. One, I think it's a product improvement. It's not as pretty, but I think functionally it's a more stout, it's a better solution. The other reason is the Eley Corporation, they've gone and pulled only to direct distribution, and so I'm unable to sell the product anymore unless I just bought it at retail and sold it at retail, and it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that. You can certainly still go buy their hose, but I've been toying with this idea for a long time, and that this solution, this SwivTech solution, is actually superior. It's a superior product. It also offers me the ability to sell garden hose and then custom lengths. I can build it to whatever length we need, if necessary. So if you have a really unique situation, we'll be able to add and build that in the store however you want. If you can just email me, matt@obsessedgarage.com, and we can build pretty much anything you need. So here are the hoses. I have the 6.5 foot one here. I'll show you the other ones here in a second. They're the same thing. So what we have is a Continental, made in the USA, 5/8 inch, very stout, industrial grade rubber hose. And this is the biggest upgrade over the Eley option. The Eley hose looks great. It's poly. Their hose is, I think it's polypropylene. Or it might be a polyurethane, I'm not sure. Where this is rubber, so this is a rubber reinforced 5/8 inch. I've decided to go 5/8. I actually have used for years. If some of you guys have been watching me from the very beginning, you'll remember when I got the biggest and most flack right in the very beginning. I was second guessing whether I wanted to do this, where I went and showed everybody my $500 hose reel. Right, the hose is a couple $100. The reel was $175. The nozzle, everything, and ended up adding up to $500. It was one of my original forays, into high end. That was back in 2000. I think I bought that thing in like 2010 or something like that. I shared it in like 2013 or 14, but I took a lot of flack for that. When we do a garden hose in this custom sizes, it won't be 200, and I think I paid $230. I bought it from Adams. They only carried it for a really short period of time. I don't think the hose is going to cost that much, so stay tuned for that. But I'll be able to have that. If you need a 100-foot hose, if you want 3/4, I'll be able to order different sizes. There'll be an upcharge for a custom order, I think. Nothing crazy, but there will be an upcharge for that just because of the time. But I will have some standard sizes that you'll be okay using, and most people will cover most people for most applications. But anyway, this is 5/8. Having the 3/4, I have the 3/4. The 3/4 just isn't necessary. A 5/8 inch hose flows plenty with our normal traditional 3/4 inch fittings on the end. The garden hose MHT, or maybe they're called MGT fittings. But these fittings are sufficient for anything we're going to do, flowing to our pressure washer or anything like that. And so the standard lengths I have set up for the pressure washer: 6.5, 12, and 20. Like I said, I don't want to get into building 3-foot hoses or 7.2 foot hoses. I think what I would do is, if you needed a 35-foot hose or something bigger, I can get that for you. But generally speaking, 6.5, 12, or 20 will cover all of our bases. And so here's the difference. Again, rubber. Wait till you feel this thing. It's just different. If you have the Eley hose, the fit and finish isn't as pretty on this. I mean, you'll even notice with the strapped fittings on the end, the swiveling couplers on the end, or swiveling ends. This isn't as pretty as the Eley hose. Would I ditch my Eley or want to replace it? Probably not. I mean, that Eley hose will last you probably for the rest of your life. Unless you just wanted the fancy looking blue or wanted to try it. I mean, these aren't particularly expensive. But for all you guys, the hundreds and hundreds, and if not 1,000 people that I've sold the Eley version to, I don't think you need to upgrade. I probably would, but that's just me. But I don't think you have to. You certainly don't have to, because the Eley hose is not bad by any means. So the end of the hose here has your traditional 3/4 inch female, which will send, if you choose the option, will send with our 3/4 inch plug. Both of these connections are brass. I hope to have a stainless here. On the garden hose part, I don't think I'll ever be able to have stainless. I don't think it really matters. I would like to convert these to, because these take a good bit more abuse, once you lock in the plug on the garden hose, and these really only need to be hand tightened. Maybe a slight tightening with your channel locks, but generally you won't need to go too tight. You don't want to mess up the grommet inside of here and squeeze it so tightly that then you're blocking the flow of the water. So I just put the 3/4 inch about as tight as I can get it by hand. Unless you have baby hands, you'll probably be fine. And then you'll put the coupler on the other end. This should be Teflon taped. I would tape this. But we have our 3/4 inch coupler as well. And so let's pretend this is the hose bib. It should be the opposite. So here's your hose bib, right? You'd want one coupler there, and you take your plug and then you plug it directly in place, right? So really, if you're going to set this up properly, you would need 2 pairs, right? And so I send it with 2 pairs. So if you choose these inlet hoses as an option, so if you're buying this separately from the pressure washer, in the pressure washer package, this comes with all the quick disconnects you need. But if you're doing this separately and you're buying this for whatever pressure washer you have, you're going to want to choose, I think, the QD option. It adds some cost to the price, but I think you'll want to choose it, and we'll send it pre-taped, pre-installed, and what it'll do, it'll look like this, where one end has one set or one pair, the other end has the other pair, and they're ready to go. I've had people call me and say, "Why you didn't send the extra ones?" Well, they're always on the end of the hose, so we send it like so that you're prepared and ready to go. So you'd want two sets of quick disconnects. So that's the 6.5 foot. I mean, I don't know what you're going to see here on camera, but here's the 12-foot version. All right, so you can get it in 12. Some people need a little bit extra length. One thing you never want to do, especially with the Krensel pressure washer or any electric type pressure washer, you don't want to connect 2 hoses together, especially with any kind of quick disconnects. You could probably go, actually, I take that back. You can connect 2 hoses together, but not with quick disconnects. You'll get a drop in pressure. In my experience, I thought my Krensel was broken. I thought it finally kicked the bucket after 8 years. And well, there was nothing wrong with the pressure washer. We just wasn't getting enough water because I had too many QDs on the inlet hoses. That was on the Eley hoses. I tried to put 2 6-footers together just temporarily when we first moved into this house, and that didn't work. And then the new addition here, Eley didn't have this option, is to have a 20-foot option. All right, so we have a 20-foot version, which you could purchase as well. I'll also make these available to all 3 sizes if you bought the Krensel the complete package. So the Obsessed Garage, pressure washing solution with QDs, all the quick disconnects, the gun, the wand, the orifice nozzle, everything you need, the foam cannon, everything you need to just plug it into the wall, assuming you have a quality 20 amp, at least a dedicated 15 amp, if not dedicated 20 amp circuit, for that pump. So these are the new hoses. They're fantastic. Again, not as pretty. And actually the ones that I have, I had to give them a little bit of a hard time. The company that's making them for me, they're made out in California, and they had wildfires were going on. They must have, the tables and stuff, their cutting tables must have had a bunch of soot, so they're a little dirtier than I like to see them. But in general, these things are going to get beat up anyway because you're going to drag them across the table. But yours should be cleaner than mine are. I ended up getting out some, as you might imagine, some Windex or some cleaner and started cleaning up the rubber, some rubber cleaner. But anyway, new, we'll call these Swiveling Obsessed Garage hoses. Oh, the thing I forgot to mention, the most important part, is this swiveling end. So that helps with the lack of pliability of this more stout hose. So you'll be able to droop or carry this, especially if you do a longer hose, you'll be able to carry it, it'll sit much nicer. So it's just like having the swivel on the end of our pressure washer gun. These will have the swiveling couplers on the end of our hoses, which means you'll be able to get it and set it and have it lay however you want it to lay on the surface of wherever it's sitting, whether it's the gravel or the ground or somewhere in your garage. Having this is maybe not quite as important as our garden hose, but regardless, having the Swiveling fittings, I spent the extra couple of bucks to allow us to do that. To be able to swivel the end as you're connecting it to your pressure washer or whatever the heck you're using this for, using bucket filling or whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, I don't want to call it innovations, but more cool stuff as time goes on. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, to the floor.